inspired and you're creating, and then you get hit with a low. And at that time when I was going through BAFTA breakthrough, I was hit with a major low. I wasn't really someone who had like a religion or anything like that. Like I didn't have like a place to call like home. Like I didn't say like I wasn't a Christian or anything like that. I just believed in God.
Yeah.
And you know, I noticed that, you know, depression kept following me. Like it was like this thing that just kept following me, and my joy was it was almost like attached to my career. My happiness was attached to my career. Like it was like I need to book this type of job or that type of role in order to be successful, in order to be happy. I wasn't happy within myself. So I had to tap into something that was bigger than me. And thankfully, like, you know, I saw all my friends going to church and stuff, and I was like, why are they so happy and like peaceful, and like they don't have an acting job, like why are they happy? But it was such a low way of thinking, you know, because it was just like I couldn't understand that they were happy because they had like true peace. So I went on that journey, and for me it was about self-care. It was about realizing that I had hit a low, and I needed to take time away from the thing I loved so much in order to heal and to let life just flow through me and connect to me, you know. So that's what I did, and I found my spark again, but in a healthy way. It wasn't based on anybody's recognition. It wasn't based on anyone giving me a job. It was based on remembering that I had a purpose and that I'm loved by God, and that, you know, it may not happen the way that I want it to, but it's gonna happen. But why do I want it to happen?
Yeah.
So I'll break that down for you. I always wanted to be like an actress that was seen and recognized, because you want to be successful. You want your thing to be seen and recognized.
Of course.
And it wasn't happening in the way that I thought it would, and in the timing that I thought it would. So that led to a lot of my depression and a lot of my sadness, because I was like, I'm not good enough. This director didn't give me that job. That means I'm not good enough. And that was lies.
Yeah.
So when I took a step away from the thing I loved so much, that I wanted so much, and realigned with my purpose, and I had to realign with my purpose, and the purpose was simple. Why do you want acting? I want people to be inspired. I want to move people with stories. I want to impact the world by playing a character that's going to leave something in the hearts of people. Simple. All right? Cool. That doesn't mean, like, knowing that is peaceful enough.
Yeah.
And trusting that God is going to align you to the right projects at the right time for you to express the core of why you want to do it in each part. Do you know what I mean? So when that clicked in my head, I was like, oh, dang, like, I just have to wait for God's timing. And that's a hard thing.
Yeah,
and you have to master that. So I waited for that. And I found my joy, and my spark was reigniting. Like, I enjoyed movies again because I looked at movies not from the purpose of how did they get that role and why wasn't I in it. I looked at movies from the perspective of how can I learn to be a better vessel for stories in the way that they have mastered it in this movie that has inspired me. That's clearly successful for them.
Yeah.
But why is it successful? It's successful because they're on purpose. They're on path, and
On their timing.
That's on God's timing for them. That's a fulfillment of that's a manifestation of purpose. So when I got aligned with that, my spark started to come back, and I started to enjoy acting again. And then with life, things hit you. You know, you go through situations that are not so pleasant, and you lose that joy again. And for me, the best advice I can give is to know the reality of life. Like, do not expect to always be on a high, because you won't. That's unrealistic. But realigning with your why when you do hit that low spot, like connecting with your family, connecting with your therapist, connecting with your church or whatever you feel gives you hope, like connecting with the source of what sustains you, you know, doing healthy self-care to make sure that the why is not going to be thrown in the dump. You know what I mean? Like, hold on to your why. You know, hold on to what makes you want to get up at 6 a.m. like thinking about questions for Queen Tings, like because you want to put purpose in the world.
Yeah, it's real. It's very, very real.
Yeah.
I think it's very, very relevant. Because literally, I'm kind of just like, your why is a big one. And even for me, so I guess a similar thing of kind of wanting to inspire and impact, and feeling that in your soul, feeling that in your heart, feeling that in your core. That is the thing that is gonna keep you motivated. And this is something I include in the workshops that I do with young women. I kind of get them to kind of think about their goals and where they want to go, and wanting to further yourself and wanting to be successful. Everyone kind of desires that. But then when it comes to literally thinking about your why is it important to you, and you know, like, what do you want to see in the world? That is the thing that motivates you. And I think that's the thing that's kept me grounded in a sense. I think it's super powerful that everyone listening to this kind of thinks about that, includes that in their life and practice, and everything you do, because it allows you to believe in your vision. So even for yourself, how would you say, you know, what is the importance for you personally of believing in your vision and kind of like, sticking with that?
Because it's important, because it's like, we're all made with purpose. You know, we're not a mistake. So it's important to like stay focused on that, because it matters. You know, big or small, no matter, you may see someone on a red carpet and think someone, like, everyone's the same. Do you know what I mean? I think like doctors are like the most coolest people in the world to me. It's like someone just did how are you going into a operation room to heal someone's heart? Like, how do you know that? Like, how do you piece the puzzle together to keep someone alive, like, or keep someone healthy? Like, that's so amazing to me. And for me, it's just like God made us with like, each of us with something that we're meant to do. We're all servants to each other. You know, we're all in that. We're all actively trying to do something for each other day by day. The bus man is doing his job so he can get you to work. Like, everybody's like, this whole thing is like connected, you know, and it's all connected with being there for each other, whether we like to really clock it or not. So that's why it's important for me, because it's a part of who God says I am and made me to be, and I feel off when I'm not on path. Do you know what I mean? And that's because we're all meant to do something here before we depart.
No, definitely. I definitely agree, and I'm literally just lost for words and kind of humbled to just listening to you. As a whole. As I resonate with it personally, I think part of this work is that it is for others, but this is also for myself at the same time. It's my way of kind of collaborating with all these great women, and allowing it to be able to fuel me and kind of pour back into myself so I can pour into others. So this moment as a whole, like I said, and I started with, I start with gratitude, and I have to kind of follow through with that. And I think that advice is really key. It's something that's going to stick with me, and I hope it sticks with every young person that listens to this. Definitely, I would just, even on that, in believing in your vision and kind of your motivation and what kind of keeps you going, a big one for me is sisterhood. I think sisterhood is literally what kind of, it's a community in a sense, but a unique community of women, and, you know, kind of to up the ante more than just sisterhood, black sisterhood. What would you say, I guess this even kind of probably relates to the movies you've been in, Wakanda Forever, kind of everything, but what would you say the importance of black sisterhood, you know, the relevance it has in your life, and the importance of it, and, you know, do you want to see more of it? How has it impacted you? What relevance does it have to you, your life and your career?
I mean, it means everything. I'm a big sister, you know, so I have little siblings, and you know, the importance of being there for them and supporting them is actively in my life, like every day. So, you know, I see it within my career, you know, the ways in which I have sisters like Denai, you know, she plays Okoye in Black Panther. She's been a great sister to me. You know, I can text like Cynthia Revo if I feel like I'm going through something or I need some advice.
That's powerful.
You know, it's really important. And I think it's really beautiful to see it on a mainstream platform because, again, you know, in this in this world is sometimes it's a shame. It's a shame to see like the way, you know, Black women, we're not really exalted in the way we truly are, and I think something's shifting. I know something's shifting. So I think, yeah, it's incredibly important. I cherish these relationships, these friendships of sisterhood, and I want to see more of it, of course. We're seeing it on mainstream media. We're seeing it in Black Panther. We're seeing it in Woman King. We're seeing it everywhere. And, you know, we've been seeing it too.
Yeah.
Like, I just thought about like Moesha.
Yeah.
And like how Brandy has got her sisters and her girls to be there for her. Like, we're seeing it, but now it's elevating.
Yeah.
And it can only inspire more of that. Yeah.
No, definitely. I think, it is always there. And I think it's been a theme if you kind of just look at, history of things, whether it's film and that kind of thing. But it's like, now we're claiming it a bit more and having pride with it.
Yeah.
And realizing the beauty in it and how we can see the beauty within each other instead of, you know, I guess what the world would kind of have this stereotype of how Black women are to each other. That shifting.
That's true.
Is super powerful, super beautiful, and I think it deserves all the spotlight.
That's true.
Deserves all the spotlight, definitely.
Yeah.
And even in that, I guess with sisterhood, a big part for me is kind of, and it has themes in Wakanda Forever, it's kind of like rites of passage. I guess growing up in London, to be honest, everyone kind of has a different experience of kind of their, I guess, rites of passage based on culture, based on where you're from, based on where you've grown up. What relevance do you say, like, you know, what would you claim kind of, I guess, your rites of passage or maybe the women in your life growing up that have impacted you? And what do you feel like, do you feel like rites of passage has importance in terms of growing a girl to become a woman and growing into womanhood? Like, your just take on that would be really, really interesting.
Oh man, that is a very deep question.
Yeah. I'll give you time to think, no pressure.
Oh man. Yeah, that's such a good question. Yeah, it's such a good question. I do feel like I do feel like I'm going through that right now in my own life, you know. You know, and I feel like I have experienced that at different stages. Yes, you know, going from a teenager to a woman and, you know, solidifying your path of womanhood. I can see the ways in which the importance of that rites of passage is there, and that could be seen through, you know, relationships that we have already with our moms, our aunties, grandmothers. You know, I feel like I'm learning a lot from like my grandmother. You know, I'm learning the ways in which, you know, wisdom is coming from her and gaining that. And I can see the ways in which that wisdom is allowing me to mature and grow so I can be there for my little sisters and share with them. So that's exactly, I feel like, it's actually really, really important. And wow, I'm going to ponder on that even more. I can see it in the ways in which it's there in our connections as artists. You know, someone was super kind the other day and they wrote something regarding Cicely Tyson, and saying that the ways in which she has impacted the world, like, you grab the baton, like, you know, the ways in which Viola's, you know, inspiring the world, like those are the type of batons that you want to grab and continue with. And I feel like in a way that's kind of like a rites of passage to you, of like, how do you continue that flow of positivity and purpose? And I think, I think we should champion more of it. We should champion more of it. Yeah, that question's very good.
No, it is. And I like that, you know, kind of bigger than, I guess, our own personal lives, even, rites of passage in terms of kind of carrying on, like you said, that legacy before us, and how that, you know, the images we see around us and the people we see around us and the people that we may be inspired by or influenced by kind of shape the women we are growing into, the young women now. I think is super, super, super powerful. Would you say for yourself, I guess, you kind of have, you know, said a lot that you're growing, which I think is super, super, like, I think truth is most important. Even how you were saying about, like, you know, your vulnerability with how you carry that through acting and stuff like that. What rituals would you say that you kind of keep within your life to kind of keep you focused and forward thinking and kind of just grounded? Is there any things that are kind of just special to you that you kind of feel like are important for yourself, or even things you might want to encourage others to do, but are just, I guess, part of your kind of like daily ritual, or just as a whole, really?
Oh man, that's a good question. Oh man, I definitely am leaning into more like self-care. I would pack and leave and go and just find a mountainous area and just climb it and just breathe some fresh air and just allow myself to process. I feel like that's the ritual that I try to keep, putting my mental health like first, you know, because life is tricky, you know. I hope you learned that in the life's tricky, and it flows, and you have to be able to handle the tides that come. So I try to go to places where I can center myself. I try to go like near the water as well. That's like a ritual like I love to do. Like if I see water, oh man, I'm there.
You're there for it.
Yeah,
I agree.
I'm able to like allow the water and the waves to like wash away the negativity or the doubts or the fears that, you know, could come, you know, as you grow. And I just try to like stay connected in like prayer as best as I can. You know, even when I don't pray, God is like, yo, wagwan, let's check in. I try to surround myself with like good like books, a lot of books that could really allow me to realign with purpose as well. I try to tap into like sermons that will allow me to understand my path as a leader, because if you're a leader, because you are a leader, like a leader is simply someone who's has an impact on people in a way that causes you know, like causes change and influence. You know, if that's what your job or whatever you do affects people, then you're a leader. So it's like, how do I align myself, you know, as a leader? And so I try to find like a lot of like sermons and stuff like that kind of like handle that, or like classes and stuff. So those are some of the rituals that I do to kind of stay focused and stay aligned.
No, definitely. I think I'm grateful for you to have shared that with us. Like I said, I think it's really important that throughout our journey, whatever we're doing, like, challenges are real, adversities are real, but I guess your rituals in a sense are almost like your toolkit. It's what you can come back to. So hearing that for everyone else is going to be different, but it's super insightful. I think we can definitely all, I'm big on that, we can all learn from each other. So hearing that is just is really, really amazing. I think it would just be to kind of just wrap up with like what you want to kind of leave the people with.
All right.
And just advice to like aspiring pioneers almost in a
Cool.
sense. So I think that would be it.
Sick. Yeah.
All right, perfect. All right, well, I guess what I would love to kind of finish and wrap up this amazing conversation with is kind of just your advice to young aspiring actors, creatives, aspiring pioneers, really. I think we kind of never know where our creative journeys can take us. But yeah, just kind of what you want to leave the people with. And just kind of any messages that you kind of just, want to leave them with.
Yeah. Man, I would definitely say that, you know, I'm discovering in my life that it's important to know the reasons why you're doing something, you know. It's important to be very clear about the impact that you want to make in the world. So my only advice for now, because it probably like in the Queen Tings Part 2, have another set of advice. I'll learn new things, be in a new path.
Yes.
But for now, I could really just share with any creatives, anybody that wants to make a change in the world with their talent, to just really sit down and just like be clear about what you want and why you want it, and make sure that is for good reasons, like good purpose, and then apply yourself, study your craft. Nothing is handed in this world for free. I'm sorry, but you're not gonna get.
Yeah, it's the truth.
You're not gonna get a little life from me. Like everything's possible. You can get whatever you want.
Yeah, no.
Nah, like life is tricky, and life is a test, and it's a game that's meant to be played, but and it's a game that you have to be very, very ready for. And sometimes it knocks you down a bit, and sometimes you don't get what you want. But the main important thing is like, you have to study your craft, whatever it is you're called to do. Go and be the best at that. Go and realign, take a year out and go study it. And align, or let's say combine your whys, your purpose, the motivation behind it that's going to keep you, sustain you when things are really, really down. It's going to keep you, and apply and combine the craft and the knowledge of what it is that you do. So if you are on a podcast, you have to have the best equipment, you have to have the best this, that, like study and put that thing together. And set tasks and goals for yourself and go for it, and trust that God's timing is going to work out, and that you will reach to people that you need to reach. And make sure that it's all aligning with your purpose and what you want your legacy to be. And I think that is a simple way to make a beautiful contribution to the world.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for that. I love you and appreciate you so much.
Love you too, sis.
This has been like such an amazing conversation. And I think it's going to be a really big milestone, almost like when I watch this back myself, which I am. Just listening to everything you said, taking it in, absorbing it, and just allowing it to be a part of my essence and be a part of my life. I'm just super humbled and grateful just to be here in this moment, and to have you on the Queen Tings Only podcast, which is only going to become something bigger and better.
Amen.
And more, more great.
Yeah.
And it's just all about celebrating our greatness, celebrating our stories. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your professionalism.
Thank you.
You're excellent.
Thank you.
Let me give you your flowers.
No, thank you so much. I've been Kenya, and you've been
Letitia Wright.
And that's us signing out, and we will see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Let me give you a round. Oh my goodness.